Good morning, my friends. So I'm hanging out at my company's terminal. We're in New Mexico, and I am waiting for my truck to finish being worked on, and I'm also waiting on this load. So here's the story, and I'm telling you, I've been thinking about this in the most meta way that I can, referring to meta like the big picture, the big life picture. I'm thinking about the whole concept of acceptance. Like, this is something I've been working on my whole life, accepting things that you can't change. It's very much a recovery type of deal. But it's a life deal, and it's something that, whether or not you're a person in recovery, it's something that you need. It's a skill set you need. You need to be able to recognize that you don't have control. And if you're in trucking, you really don't have control. And that's something that you have to just learn how to live with, and you have to learn how to manage your own feelings around things. That's what it's all about. So this load that originally was supposed to be ready at 8 a.m., they were supposed to be bringing it here actually, which is kind of a special arrangement that's pretty great. But I was advised by really cool, another dispatcher here. I love this guy. He's really cool. He's very like straightforward. He's a nice person. He was like, I'm the person who normally shuttles these loads, he's being a dumbass, so you should just go there yourself. And I was like, you got it. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for giving it to me straight. I'm going to be going over there and getting it at 9, provided that my truck is ready by then, and I hope it is. So what's going on with the truck, it's a 2023 awesome truck. I'm not complaining about the truck, but there's been some issues with the tri-pack, the APU. I don't know why that is. I don't know how sensitive those units are, but in talking with my good buddy Dirk, we were talking about this yesterday, and he was talking about how, because he has a lot of background with like airline cargo and understanding like part of the reason why things are so incredibly expensive when it comes to airplanes is because everything has to be spec'd for like a really super high set of standards, because it has to be safe in the air. And with trucks, it's like, I think a lot of times we expect miracles, and we don't always keep in mind the amount of stress that these vehicles undergo with the terrain that we travel and the amount of time that they spend running, and it's a lot. So the APU, he said that the Freon was a little low, which is funny because I just had this truck, the APU looked at like a month ago maybe, and I told him, so-and-so at the other terminal said it was good on Freon, and because he told me the Freon was low, he said you have a minor coolant leak. I'm like, okay, so that's a couple of things. And he said, well, the system will, automatically shut itself off. I'm like, yeah, it's supposed to after like 11 hours, but I've been like having to wake up during the night and turn the truck on, which is never good. You don't want to idle the truck. The company hates that. You're burning fuel. But I did it twice last night because I'm like, fuck this, man, I need to sleep, and it disrupted my sleep enough because I kept having to wake up, and then I would wake up again and turn it off because I'm trying not to run it for too long, and it's getting cold in there. I like it cold though when I'm sleeping, which is, conducive to good sleep, like 68 or something like that, roughly. He told me that the Freon was low, and I was like, so-and-so just said the Freon was good, and he's like, he notoriously has the Freon a little low. I was like, why? He said, because that terminal's in Minnesota and it's different there, and then you get down here and it's like 110 degrees and you need more Freon. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. I was like, yeah, I'm about to be going through like Texas, probably I think Oklahoma, or am I going through, I'm not sure which route I'm taking. I looked it up on Google Maps, and now I'm going to look it up again and plot out my route, but there's like a northern route and a more southern route. But I'm going to be going through a lot of hot places, and the weather isn't extreme yet at this point in the summer, but it's still significant enough that I need to make sure my AC is fully functional. Otherwise, I'm going to get yelled at by my company because I am going to run that shit during the night to keep it cool enough to sleep. I feel like that truck was louder than normal. Anyway, I'm going to need that thing to be working, and if it's not, I'm going to be running the truck to keep cool, and I don't want to be doing that because I'm not supposed to. I'm trying to be a good team player and not unnecessarily cost the company money. No one wants to be doing that. So that's what I'm waiting on, and then fingers crossed this load is now supposed to be ready at 9. I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. It's a late start, but let's hope it all comes together. Truck will be ready to go. I'll go pick up the loaded trailer. It's real close by, and I'll just hit the road, head to Alabama on my way to Florida, but seeing my mom, which I'm very stoked about, and she is super stoked. And I was so worried I was going to have to disappoint her, and now it's looking like everything is going to work out. Fingers crossed. Texas people, or people who drive through Texas, do you know this place behind me? Super Pollo, because I just got birria tacos from there, and I'm fucking stoked. I've been totally wanting some good tacos for a minute. My hat's crooked. And I gotta say, I've only been through Texas a couple of times, and I'm always like just coming through, and I don't really have time to stop anywhere. But one time I got barbecue and it was fucking fire. Okay, I need to watch my mouth. I'm trying not to use that many F-bombs. Yeah, I got barbecue at this little hole in the wall that was next to a truck stop, and it was so good. And it's interesting that a little spot like this, which is obviously like a small chain, they have a combination of tacos and, I guess that's what you call Tex-Mex, right? I mean, I don't know if that's accurate, but you got Mexican food and you got barbecue all in one spot, and I think that's pretty cool. So I am really excited. Look at that pretty green truck. I like that. That's a nice one. I'm checking you out. You're checking me out, I know it. But yeah, I got me a couple tacos, I got some chips and salsa, and I got an horchata, which is a must with any Mexican food. It feels good to have some yummy food. And I'm getting back on the road, heading toward, where am I gonna stop tonight? I'll still be in Texas, just outside of Louisiana, I think. Don't quote me on that. You guys know how I am with I almost said geometry. Oh my God, I'm fired. Okay, you guys know I don't like to show footage while eating because I think that's like kind of gross. But is this what would constitute Tex-Mex? I wasn't expecting a fried taco, and if I had looked at the menu, I would have seen, oh yeah, that's how they do them. But for those who don't know, birria is goat, and I love it. I love goat, and I love lamb. Yeah, I got that and some chips and salsa, and it's greasy. It's got goat, and it's cheesy, and it's deep fried. So that, I'm guessing, is more of a Texas style taco. And I was trying to think, no, it's not El Puente. What is the name of the place? There's a spot that I'll look it up so I can tell you what it is, but it's on Southwestern, like 1600 something Southwestern for you Chicagoans. That's a chain, and that's one of my favorite spots to go to for tacos because it's just super consistent. It's always good. It's fast. They're on point. Like most Mexican restaurants in Chicago. Chicago has pretty much the best Mexican food anywhere in the country. Of course, it's regional. There's different styles, but Chicago has the best any food, and that's not a matter of opinion. That's just science, So anyway, I'm gonna eat some more of my taco and then get back on the road. All right, hello from the microwave.
Hey, from Janna's microwave in her truck. Oh, my little girl, my baby girl. I know I look like the baby, but I'm the old lady, and this is my gorgeous daughter,
stop.
Janna.
That's where you gotta look, by the way, just FYI. That's where the lens is. Okay. She has an iPhone, but she didn't know that yet. But that's okay. We're not making fun.
I don't know much of anything about anything compared to her.
Oh, stop. No. Anyway, this is my mom, Eileen.
Hi, whoever decides to be silly enough to watch me.
I told you I look like a giant next to her. You see this right here? Anyway.
All right.
We're on a visit. We're going to go hang out. We'll see you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice to see you all, whoever you are.
Mwah.
Mwah.
Good morning. I hope you guys are having a nice morning. I'm quite exhausted. I just made it to my delivery in Florida. First time driving in Florida. Don't recommend it. It's been a stress fest. It's just a lot of it was a Sunday, and it's summer, so it's probably a lot of tourist related traffic and stuff. And then yesterday there was a crazy huge accident. I was going on I-75 south, and there's a huge accident on the northbound side, and there must have been like 10 smashed up cars, like destroyed. And there was a car that its entire hood was smashed in that looked like it had rear-ended a truck, probably someone on the phone or something. It's so frustrating to see stuff like that. And I think the thing that frustrates me the most is that the entire reason that it backs up traffic for like hours is because of the people that have to slow down and look at it. And I don't understand that phenomenon. Like, if you know that there's other people behind you, but people don't care. And I think most of that is people who need to take video of it. It's like, what is your end game? You think that's going to make you important to share video like that? It's that same thing. I tend to have a level of like general disgust with like people I've known who want to be the first person to talk about like someone died or something like that. Like I just can't even listen to it. So it's that kind of energy that destroys traffic for like hundreds, if not thousands of people, or like totally ruins days and makes it so you end up late to things and all of that stuff. So I am actually late to this delivery, and I was trying not to super stress out. And the other reason I'm like 20 minutes late, I tried so hard to get here on time, but I started my clock this morning at exactly 10 hours. After my reset time, I watched the clock, and like as soon as it was counting down like 3 seconds, I started the clock, and then I had to wait 8 minutes of pre-trip time, even though I already pre-tripped the truck before that. And I hit the road. I accidentally took 5 more minutes, but then I hit more accident traffic on the way here. So between yesterday and today, that's three large delays caused by accident traffic on this route. And it's just not enough lanes for the amount of traffic, and it's too many people that are probably intoxicated, or my dad always referred to it as like drunk on phones, meaning that people are looking at their phones and they're driving like they're drunk. There's a lot of that too. It's really upsetting. You see it so constantly. So I'm kind of at a point where I just don't have a lot of brain space left. I'm so tired. I was really struggling on the way here, and then I ran out of coffee yesterday. I used the last of my coffee, but I did use some of that tea that you sent me, Mark, and it was very good. I really like it. Black tea. But I still am going to need a little coffee today to get through it. I don't know what they're having me do after this. I'm waiting for a phone call to get me in a dock, but I just was yawning so much on the way here. It was really, really hard. It was the kind of day where I wish I had time to like just pull off, or I wish I could get enough sleep. Like I just need one night of like 7 hours would be so great. I've had like 6 hours or a little less every night for the last at least week, and I'm having a hard time. And it also makes it hard to have the patience for driving, and no exercise. And I stayed in a really disgusting TA last night. I was like, okay, there's truck stops and then there's Florida truck stops. I usually don't stay in TAs anyway because they're generally pretty gross, but I was totally running out of options because the truck stops were packed by the time I got there, because that accident, well, 2 accidents. There was one south of Atlanta in the morning, and that was a big one, and it was super rainy. I was driving through this huge rainstorm, and then there was the one that was really bad in Florida yesterday. It was crazy. There were cars like in the ditch on the opposite side of, like on what would have been their right side of the road. There were a whole bunch of cars against the median that were just smashed. There was the truck. It was just crazy. It was crazy, but I hope some people got a lot of likes on their videos, because thanks everybody for holding up all of us so you can feel important by sharing bad news, Real nice. Humans are great. On the positive side, the AC, the APU has been working better. Last night, I got out of I always say that. I got out of the truck this morning, and it was really gross outside already. It's like 70 degrees and humid, because Florida. And when I got back in the truck, I was like, ooh, it's cold in here. Like, I could really feel it. So that helped. I slept better, but the reefer's been in start-stop, so that's been waking me up and all that. So we'll see what happens with whatever the next load is. But I'm just hoping that they schedule my next load in a way that I don't have to run too hard, even though I'm also, what's frustrating is the way that things have gone. Like, I'm grateful. I'm not trying to complain, because a lot of this was so I could see my mom. That was awesome. We had a great time. I love her. I'm so happy I got to spend that day with her. It was really, really awesome. But the way that my schedule has been for this last week, I think partly because of like the delivery time and all that, I just can't get enough sleep and I can't get enough miles. It's like a really weird conundrum. It's like I'm still not driving enough, but I'm exhausted. So it feels like a lose-lose. And, what I'm talking about, though, what's interesting is like Smart Trucking. Dave just put out a video, I think, a few days ago talking about the freight shortage that's happening right now, or like the poor freight market. And, this is a brokered load. Side note, I think it's such a enjoyable action to block a freight broker when they try to call you, because I don't have to talk to them. My company told me don't worry about it. I'm like, thank God. It feels so good to block them because they're such a menace, and they'll harass you, like literally harass you. They will call you over and over and over again, and you're just the driver, and it's like they can totally track the load, like they know exactly where it is, but they'll just call you and harass you, which is not motivating at all. It just makes you want to like not talk to them, makes you want to not answer the phone. And there have been times like I missed the call because my phone does a thing which a lot of people's phones probably do, where I will have the phone right in front of me, and then all of a sudden I get a thing showing I missed a call, and the phone didn't ring, it didn't display, it didn't vibrate, it didn't do anything. And I'm just like, why does it do that? So I'll miss their call, and then they'll call again like 2 minutes later. They'll call you 24 hours. They'll keep calling during the night. I'll wake up in the morning. Thankfully, I've had my phone set to sleep mode, and I look at it, and they were trying to call me at like 2 in the morning. They don't give a shit. They are not nice people. So, yeah, when my dispatcher said to block them, I was like, bless you, my friend. And I happily did that. Yeah, but this is a brokered load, which says something because this company has a lot of dedicated customers that they work with, and it's just such a light freight market. So I'm trying not to get down or like, in a sense, like feel like woe is me about not making money. Like I lost a few $100s from one week to the next, which is really unfortunate, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be like that again this week and probably the next week because freight is light. And I was fortunate that as a new driver for the first at least couple of months, they were giving me a minimum level of pay based on like 2,800 miles was like an average, and I often do more than that. And also, let's talk about how I get paid like most truck drivers who get paid by the mile. We get paid zip code to zip code, but that doesn't mean it's the actual mileage that you're driving. So when I go back and estimate my mileage, a lot of times over a 7-day period, it's over 3,000, you know, but I don't think I'm getting paid for that because they have their own way of estimating it. If you get mad about it, you'll make yourself crazy. Like if you focus on it too hard, and I know there's a lot of drivers who will sit there and go over their settlement, and I don't do it. And I don't think my company is ripping me off, because the fact that I work at a company that the vast majority of drivers are multi-million mile drivers, if this was a shady company that did that kind of crap, that wouldn't be the case. They wouldn't have these drivers that love working here and have worked, you know, have been in the industry a long time and sing the praises of the company. So I'm not going to torture myself looking at those numbers and getting all detailed about it, because that's just not how I roll. I'm not anywhere near as money focused as a lot of people, and maybe I leave some money on the table, and guess what? That's fine. I don't care. I know it sounds weird, but I should care more than I do, but I don't. Anyway, so yeah, and what's wild is this is a major company place that I'm coming to. It's actually like a conglomerate of 2 major companies. And so I thought it was going to be one of those huge DC type places, but it's tiny, and it looks like I'm going to have to back in off the street, and it's real tight. So I'm like, well, that's great. And of course it's lined with boulders on either side. A lot of places like to do that. So it's like, you're going to don't mess up our grass, but ruin your truck if you back into this. So it's okay though. I'm a fucking professional, so I'll be fine. That's what I like this. That's my little mantra to myself lately. So I'm just real exhausted.